Well, hello again. Today we are talking about rounding numbers. This is lesson 1.4 in our first unit of study this year. So let's get to it. The rules, there are two of them. You've used them before for rounding off. You look at the digit after the one that's being rounded, and if that digit is less than a 5, then we're going to just chop off the decimal. That's called rounding down. And if the digit after the one being rounded is 5 or more, then we round up. So we make that last digit that we care about, we're going to make that one bigger than it was before. Alright, so the best way to do this is with some examples. The first example is 36,791, and I want to round that to the nearest hundred. So I'm looking at the 7 that is in the hundreds place, and I need to figure out whether that should stay a 7 or whether it should become an 8. In other words, is this number closer to 36,800 or 36,700? So I'm not really looking at the 7 and using that 5 rule. I'm looking at the number after the 7, which is a 9. That 9 is bigger than 5, so I'm going to round that 7 up to an 8. Meaning that 36,791 is closer to 36,800 than it is to 36,700. So my answer is 36,800. All right, another example is if I have 4.1436 and I want to round that to 2 decimal places. So I'm not rounding it to a certain place value anymore. I'm rounding it to a certain number of decimal places. So that means I only want 2 digits after the decimal point, the 1 and the 4, which could possibly be a 1 and a 5. So I look at the digit that's after that 4, and that's a 3. That 3 is less than 5, so I'm going to keep the 4 as a 4, and then everything else can go away. So rounded to 2 decimal places, this number is 4.134, since it's closer to 4.14 than it is to 4.15. And the last example that we're going to do is rounding 0.007164 to 3 significant digits. Now you may have learned that significant digits, really simply put, are those digits that aren't 0 either before all the other non-zero digits or after all the non-zero digits. That's kind of a short way of describing significant digits. So basically I'm looking at all the digits that aren't zeros. So there's the 7, the 1, the 6, the 5, and the 4. The third of those is the 6. So I'm going to look after that one, since I'm rounding that 6 either to a 7 or keeping it to a 6. So I look after the 6 and there's a 5. Well, 5 is equal to 5, and I round up because if it's 5 or greater, then I round up. So the 6 is going to become a 7. Everything after that, what was a 6 and is now a 7, goes away, and everything else stays the same. So this rounds to 0.00717, since it's closer to that decimal than it is to 0.00716. So my answer for that example is 0.00717. And that's it for rounding. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.